Why did we decide to create a Texas bourbon? I think there's something about Texas and whiskey that really seems to go together. And at that time, nobody was making whiskey in Texas. And being able to, take the materials, the grain that's grown here, the water, the heat, the humidity, and create something that was more unique to the state of Texas, to do it our way and to do something that honored the state, I thought was really cool. What makes Texas whiskey unique in particular is our heat and humidity. You can't just use certain types of barrels and sizes. When we first started this, we had barrels that were of all different sizes, from 5 gallons up to 20s. And so we really learned over time what gave that unique character for Texas whiskey. And what we learned, though, was how we have to use heat and humidity in its own uniqueness to create the product that we want. The things that makes us different, in particular to how we do things, is some of our processes, we still do them in traditional fashion. So the fact that we sour mash it, we double distill it, right? A lot of systems now, you can just run it in a single pass. A lot of people don't like to sour mash. We just feel like that adds more authenticity and character to the spirit. And the process that we use allows more flavor to come through within it. And I think that's what makes our stuff a little bit different. We are a grain to glass producer, which means everything we make is all the grain comes in, it's milled, mashed, fermented, distilled, aged is on site here for, at least on our straight bourbon, it has to be at least 2 years, but, some of our stuff's up 4 or 5 years old now. And one of those dirty little secrets for a lot of people, don't make their stuff, and that's fine, and that's their business model. But for us, it's about using all those materials and making it grain to glass and taking the time and the patience to let it sit sometimes for multiple years to get the flavor that you want. We were fortunate enough several years ago to be recognized at the American Craft Spirit Associations with both best in class for our bourbon and also the best in show. So that was very prestigious for us, because that's all the craft makers from across the country were there. And there are hundreds and hundreds of spirits that are entered, and it's across all categories. It doesn't matter if it's whiskey or gin or whatever's entered. And so we're fortunate enough to win that. I think it just really speaks to the hard work that our team and distillers put in to their craft and their passion. We turned 11 years old this year. I still think we're 10 years out from hitting our stride, and that's because making whiskey the way that we do, you have to take the long road. There's no shortcuts, right? You can't shortcut Mother Nature, for example. When that whiskey's in the barrel, it has to have the time to do that maturation. And so I think for us, that's what we're most excited about, is continue pushing our craft over the next several years to continue making a product that's better and better. So when the consumer puts their money down on the counter to pay for it, that they get what they want.